know why when
Philadelphia has the best fans in the National League.
Swing and a miss. There it is. Number 300 for Kurt Schilling. Swing and a long drive. Grand slam. Swing and a long drive. There it is. Number 500 for Michael Jack Smith.
High apple pie in the sky.
Unbelievable. The Phillies have won.
Every week we host a baseball show on the radio, and we have a Voices of the Game segment, and pretty soon Harry Kalas is going to be inducted, and we had him on, we had others on, and the resonance of the voice, it's like a Pavlov's dog, where immediately you sort of remind yourself, oh, that's right, this guy's baseball. And when he gets in, we get a chance to listen to him in Philadelphia, I mean, he is so significant and so symbolic of what baseball comes to mean. You sort of forget the relationship that those broadcasters had with the fans.
Well, you're absolutely right. I think the one thing I think about with him is the fact that driving through town, driving in automobiles, he started back when people were listening to games on the radio and you weren't necessarily getting the visual effect of being able to see it on TV. So that voice became a relationship in your town. And to me, that dominated in the era.
I think, you know, I remember coming up with the Yankees and getting to meet Phil Rizzuto, him coming down and want to know how to pronounce your name, and they are fans of the game. I remember it used to be a no-no for you to actually pull for the team. I think, you know, Phil Rizzuto and these guys, they show that it's very in vogue to be a fan of your own team.
And it does affect the players, because we've had Jeff Brantley. I talked to him before about getting involved with baseball tonight and TV stuff, and he says, when I grew up, when I was a little boy, I didn't want to be Nolan Ryan. I wanted to be Mel Allen. I mean, that's the effect that these guys had on certain players, Brantley certainly being one of them. But, yeah, Harry Kalas began calling Philadelphia Phillies baseball in 1971. You hear his voice, you know you're talking about Philadelphia Philly baseball. Let's now take a look at the life and career of the man who's won the Ford Frick Award for broadcast excellence, Harry Kalas.
Has won the National League pennant and go on to the World Series.
The most famous voice in Philadelphia is going into the Hall of Fame. A broadcaster for 41 years, Harry Kalas has been the Philadelphia Phillies announcer since 1971. 27 of those seasons were spent in the booth with legendary player and announcer Richie Ashburn. With his trademark, "Outta Here," call Kalas has called over 5,000 games, including 50,000 innings on radio and television.
I knew at an early age that I wanted to be a broadcaster and wanted to be a baseball announcer because I loved baseball.
Kalas was first introduced to the game of baseball by his dad in 1946 at White Sox Park in Chicago, a game he fondly remembers.
Mickey Vernon, a Washington player, poked his head out of the dugout and sees this little kid, me, picks me up, takes me in the dugout, gives me a baseball, introduces me to his teammates, and from that point on, I loved the Washington Senators and baseball and decided I want to do something in this game.
A graduate of the University of Iowa and an original member of the Houston Astros broadcast team as far back as 1965, Harry Kalas has been honored 17 times as Philadelphia Broadcaster of the Year. Without a doubt, his most famous call involved fellow Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt.
The 3-0 pitch. Swing and long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Smith.
Be involved in games that are so meaningful, and you know, a game is only as exciting as the crowd's reaction to it, so that when you have a full house and they're reacting to everything that's happening on the field, then it truly is exciting and a privilege to be able to call it.
And Mulholland has pitched a no-hit, no-run game at Veterans Stadium. Well hit to deep center field. This ball's out of here. Here comes Dernier. The throw to the plate. Save. I can't believe it. The Phillies have won.
I feel like I'm just so lucky because I'm doing what I want to do from the time I was a little kid. I dreamt of being a ball player, realizing that I couldn't be a ball player. I got certainly the next best thing.
This ball's out of here.
Jane Forbes Clark is the chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
It's my pleasure now to ask one of our directors and current Mets broadcaster, Hall of Famer Tom Seaver, to present the award to Harry Kalas.
Did you find that? Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary broadcaster Harry Kalas has called baseball games in Philadelphia since 1971. With his uncanny ability to connect with his listeners, he became a household name to Philly fans everywhere. As a veteran of 41 years behind the microphone, Kalas's voice is one of the most popular and recognizable ones in broadcasting history. His understated enthusiasm and journalistic excellence are his trademarks. Honored 17 times as Pennsylvania Sportscaster of the Year, Kalas's passion for the game is unsurpassed, and his powerful and soothing voice is a constant throughout the summer in the homes and on car radios in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. He has called more than 5,000 Phillies games, counting for over 50,000 innings. He has shared the broadcast booth with 1990 Frick Award winner By Sam, and for 27 seasons with his very, very close friend, Hall of Famer Richie Ashburn. An original member of the Houston Astros broadcast team in 1965, Kalas has called games for the franchise until 1970. His play-by-play accuracy, combined with his dedicated and compelling historical accounts, have allowed him to build an undying trust and a national fan base across the United States. A graduate of the University of Iowa, this affable announcer began broadcasting in the Pacific Coast League for the Hawaii Islanders and the University of Hawaii in 1961. He has also broadcast Big Five basketball and Notre Dame football, and currently lends his voice to several NFL Films programs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to honor and introduce to you this year's 2002 award winner of the Ford C. Frick Award, Harry Kalas.
Thank you, Tom. Terrific. Boy, do I remember the battles you and Lefty Steve Carlton used to have. This is the ultimate honor in a game that I have loved since I was 10 years old, thanks to Mickey Vernon. It's very special to be inducted with most acrobatic shortstop I ever saw play this beautiful game, Ozzie Smith, and the legendary Joe Pauls from the Motor City. I now join my two partners, with whom I worked when I first came to Philadelphia in 1971, By Sam and Richie Ashburn. People ask me what it was like working with Richie. His Whiteness and I were together for 27 years, and it was such a joy. He not only brought to the booth baseball expertise, but also laughter. Whitey had a marvelous sense of humor. I remember doing games with him, and it'd be getting late in the game, late in the evening, and Whitey would say on the air, "I wonder if the people at Celebrezze Pizza are listening tonight." Well, within 15 minutes, bang, pizzas are delivered to the radio booth. This went on for a little while, and pretty soon Phillies management called him in. They said, "Richie, Celebrezze Pizza is not one of our sponsors. We can't be giving them free plugs." Now, we do deliver birthday and anniversary announcements on the air. So shortly after his meeting with the Philadelphia Brass, it's getting late again in the evening, and he's getting hungry. He said, "Well, I have very special birthday wishes to send out tonight to the Celebrezze twins, plain and pepperoni."
I want to thank the Phillies for their undying support for the last 32 years, especially to Bill Giles, who brought me to Philadelphia in 1971, the best professional move I ever made. To the players, coaches, and managers over the years, one of the many beauties of this game is no matter how long you've been in it, you learn more about it every year, every day. Every year I see things on the field that I've never seen before. A feel for the game was learned from so many men in uniform, I could not possibly name them all. But you know who you are, and I love you. To the members of the media who have been so supportive over the years, my colleagues, the beat writers and columnists, the radio, TV, production staff and crews across the USA. To the scouts and general managers over the years who have shared their baseball knowledge and experience in hundreds of press rooms across America. The love of my life, my wife Eileen. My sons Todd, Brad, and King. My stepdaughter Kiki, my stepson Travis, my step-grandson Cole. My brother Jim and his wife Mary, and my nieces and nephews. Families sacrifice when their man is a baseball man. For 7 months a year, we spend more time with our team than we do with our families. I thank you for being so understanding and supportive. We come here to Cooperstown to laud our baseball heroes each year. But all of us laud America's heroes from all walks of life, whose selflessness is on display daily. Those that lay their lives on the line for our safety. You are in our hearts. There are some loved ones in heaven looking down on us today. Mom, Dad, Celia, Byram, Whitey, Ray Shore, Art Perkins, Mike Capredo, I thank you. And to the most passionate sports fans in America, the Philadelphia fans. I have written a brief poem to you beautiful fans. This is to the Philadelphia fan, to laud your passion as best I can. Your loyalty is unsurpassed. Be the fightin's in first or last. We come to the park each day looking forward to another fray. Because we know you'll be there. We know you really care. You give the opposing pitcher fits. Because as one loyalist shouts, everybody hits. To be sure in Philly, there might be some boos. Because you passionate fans, like the manager, hate to lose. Your reaction to the action on the field that you impart spurs us as broadcasters to call the game with enthusiasm and heart. We feel your passion through and through. Philadelphia fans, I love you. And thank you all for sharing in a day that I will never forget. I love you. Thank you.
Harry Kalas touches many here in the audience, and soon the audience will go wild over the great shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, Ozzie Smith. We'll also hear from Joe Falls. Take a closer look at the career of Ozzie Smith when we continue with the 2002 induction ceremonies in Cooperstown, New York on ESPN Classic. You take a look at Ozzie Smith's career numbers, folks. 13 Gold Gloves. 8,375 assists. He holds the record for chances. He got to more balls than anybody else. You see the double plays. Dave Winfield always said Ozzie Smith never got upended, to show you how athletic he was. 6th all-time Major Leagues in fielding percentage. There are some great signs here, folks, from people blown in from Kansas to see the Wizard. There are people actually dressed up like wizards, and then there are many who made the pilgrimage 14 hours, a couple told us, who drove from St. Louis to see Ozzie Smith. Before we hear his induction speech, let's look back at his career. Mark Schwartz with the beginning, the middle, and the present.